Morning everyone. Today we are going to learn one of the most important concepts in Java, classes and objects. We will also discuss the components of a class, field declaration, method declaration, abstract classes and interfaces. So what is a class? Imagine you want to build a house. So before construction begins, you need a blueprint. The blueprint describes the design, but you cannot live in a blueprint. Similarly, in Java, a class is a blueprint for creating objects. So an object is the real entity created using that blueprint. For example, if class is a student, then Rahul, Anu, Priya, these are the objects. And if fruit is a class, then apple, mango, guava, they are the objects. So each student has different details but follows the same structure. And a class defines data members. Data members are also called fields or variables. And then there will be constructors. These are special type of methods. And then the normal methods. These functions that define the behavior. So the simple definition of a class is a user-defined data type from which objects are created. So the general syntax is class is the keyword, then write the class name. Inside the brackets, we can write the variables, functions, and constructors. Components of a class. So every Java class mainly consists of the following components. First is fields or variables. These are used to store the object data like name, age, and second is methods. Methods are used to define the behavior, that is display data or calculate salary. And constructors are special methods to initialize object values. And objects are the instances of the class, and objects are created using new operator. So first we will look at fields declaration. So fields are variables declared inside a class, and they represent the properties or attributes of an object, and the variables are also called instance variables because they are created whenever an object of the class is instantiated. So here data is encapsulated in a class by placing data fields inside the body. So here we have an example, class student, and there are three variables like roll number, name and mark. So these are the fields, and each object will have its own copy of these fields. Like if I create two student objects, uh, every object has its own values. Next is method declaration. So methods define the behavior of an object. So this is the basic syntax. Return type, method name, and inside it we can write the parameters, and inside the method we can write the body of the method. So method declaration has four basic parts. First is method name. It should be a valid identifier like get data or get the data or get the object like that. And next is return type. Return type is the data type of the value the method returns. If there is nothing to return, then we can write void. And there will be a parameter list. So it can be empty, or we can write the inputs to the method inside the parenthesis. Now, the method body. So this is the main code block that defines the behavior of the method. So here we have an example, class student. So string name is the variable and display is the method. So return type is void, and the method display prints the student's name. So method allow objects to perform actions. So here are the some important notes about methods in a class. So a class with only variables and no methods has no functionality. That is, they cannot respond to any actions. So if we want to manipulate or use the class data, we can use methods. and methods are declared inside the class just after variable declaration. And return type can be any primitive data type or class type. And if no data is returned, we can use void. And parameters must include both type and variable name, like integer, age, like that. If there are no parameters, we can use empty brackets. Next is object creation. So objects are created using the new keyword, and declaring an object means we are creating a reference variable of a class type. So this is the general syntax. So how to declare this? We can write the class name and then the object name. And we can instantiate it by writing the object name equals new keyword and then write the class. So we can also combine both in one line, like class name, object name is equal to new class name. So each object occupies separate memory. So here we have a class called rectangle, and here we are creating an object rect1. So rect1 is equal to new rectangle. This is how we instantiate the object rect1. Or we can also write in a combined instruction like rectangle rect1 is equal to new rectangle. So here we have another example. Here the class name is student, and we have two fields like name and age, and the method is to display the information. We can print the name and age. Now in the main class we are creating the object S1, and we are assigning the values. Name is Alice and age is 20. Now if we call the method s1.displayInfo, then the informations of the object 1 S1 is displayed, like name is equal to Alice and age is equal to 20. Next is constructors. Now suppose we want every student object to automatically receive a name while it is created. For that we use a constructor. So a constructor in Java is a special method that is called when an object is created. So a constructor has the same name of the class, and it has no return type, and it executes automatically whenever an object is created. Now we will see an example. Here the class name is person, and we are creating a constructor here, person, and it has the same name as the class. Okay, now inside the constructor, we are printing a person object is created. So whenever an object is created, it will display this. And inside the class, we have a method called say hello to print hello. Now in the main class, we are creating an object of person class. So P1 is the object. So person P1 is equal to new person. So the constructor is automatically called here. And then we are calling the method P1 dot say hello. So the constructor automatically initializes the object here. This is another example. Class car. Here car is the constructor. So we are printing car is created inside the constructor. Now in the main function, we are creating an object. My car is equal to new car. So here constructor is called automatically. Now in Java, we have different types of classes. So Java provides different kinds of classes depending on the requirement. So let's study each one. First is concrete class, second is abstract class, and third is final class. So first is concrete class. A concrete class is a normal class, and all methods are completely implemented and objects can be created directly. So this is an example. Class employee. Work is the method inside the class, and we are printing working. So when we want to create the object, we can create it by employee is equal to new employee. So this is the type of class we use most often. Next is abstract class. So abstract class in Java is a class that cannot be instantiated. That is, we cannot create objects from it directly. So it is declared using the abstract keyword, and we can use to provide a base class or super class with incomplete methods. It is mainly used in inheritance, and we can implement this by using subclasses or child classes. So a simple definition is an abstract class is like a half-built template, contains method definition that needs to be completed by subclasses. Suppose every animal eats. So, but every animal makes a different sound, like dog barks, cow moves, cat mews. So, should we write the sound method inside animal? No, because every animal has a different implementation. So, this is where abstract classes help. So, this is the basic syntax of abstract class. You have to write the abstract keyword before the class keyword. So, abstract class, class name. Here we can there is no body for an abstract method, then we can write the abstract void method name. Now this is the regular method. So there will be method body inside the method. So the key features of abstract classes is we can declare it with the abstract keyword, and it can contain abstract methods, that is without body, and concrete methods, that is the regular methods. Regular methods contains the body, and it cannot be instantiated directly. We can inherit by another class to use it. So abstract classes are used to achieve abstraction. That is, we can hide the implementation details, and it can have constructors, variables, and methods like a normal class. So this is an example. Here we are creating an abstract class called animal. So we have an abstract method here, abstract void sound. There is no body because sound is different for different animals. So here we have created it as abstract class. Now in the concrete method, we have void sleep. This is common for all animals. So here we are printing animal is sleeping. Now we are creating another child class or subclass, dog, that is inheriting the main class animal. So extends is the keyword used for inheritance. That is, here we are creating a child class dog that extends the main class animal. And now here we can implement the method sound. So void sound, here we can customize this. So system.out.println dog barks. Now if we want to create another child class like cat, then we can write class cat extends animal, and in the void sound function we can write system.out.println cat meows. And here in the main function we are creating an object for the class dog, and when we call the methods d.sound, then the output will be dog barks. When we call d.sleep, then it calls the method in the main class animal, and the output will be animal is sleeping. So here animal is the abstract class, sound is the abstract method, and dog is the child class or concrete subclass that implements the sound method. The next is final class. Sometimes we don't want anyone to inherit a class. In that case, we declare it as final. So a final class is a class that cannot be inherited by any other class, and we can declare it with the keyword final. So a final class is considered complete. So the general syntax is final class, then write the class name, and inside the braces we can write the fields and methods. So this is an example. So vehicle is a final class. So inside it, we have a method called run. Vehicle is running. We are printing vehicle is running. Now in the main class, we are creating an object. V vehicle V is equal to new vehicle V dot run. So this is the program. Now if we try to extend vehicle, will result in a compile time error. That is here if we create car class to extend vehicle, then it will show an error. So Java gives a compile time error because the final class can create objects, cannot be extended. So examples like immutable utility classes are there in Java, or string classes. So these cannot be inherited. These classes cannot be inherited because these are final classes. We can create objects but cannot be extended. So the key points to remember are: final class cannot be inherited. That is, a final class cannot be a superclass. Then we can use final class for security purposes, and we can contain final or non-final methods. So methods inside a final class can be final, static, or normal. And it can be instantiated. That is, we can create objects of final classes, but it cannot be inherited, and we can implement interfaces. Next topic is interfaces. So an interface specifies what should be done, not how it should be done. So think of a USB port. So every device follows the same interface, but different manufacturers implement it differently. Here, an interface in Java is a reference type. It is like a class that can contain only constants, method signature, default methods, static methods, and nested types. So interfaces cannot contain any constructors. Interfaces are used to achieve abstraction and multiple inheritance in Java. So in Java, there is no multiple inheritance. Instead of that, we can use interfaces. Now, the key features of interfaces are: we can declare interface using the keyword interface, and it can have abstract methods and default methods and static methods. And it can have variables like public, static, and final by default. And it can the class implements an interface using implements keyword. In inheritance, we use extends keyword. Here we can implement an interface using implements. And a class can implement multiple interfaces, and it cannot instantiate an interface directly. So the general syntax is: we can write the keyword interface, then interface name, and now we can write the abstract method, then the default method, and default method as the body, like printing default method, and we can also write the static methods like static void display, static method, like that. Now this is a simple example. Here we have the interface called animal. We have abstract method void sound. Now class dog implements animal. Here dog is a class that uses this interface animal. And here we can write dog barks inside the abstract method. Now in the main class, we are creating the object here. Dog t is equal to new dog, and we are calling the function. So the output will be dog barks. So this is the basic interface. It is just like uh, multiple inheritance. Now we are writing an interface with multiple implementation. So here we have two interfaces. In the first interface, we are writing the method void show. In the second interface, we have void display. Now we are creating a class C. It implements both the interfaces A and B. Now public void show. Here we are printing show from A. That is from the interface A. Now in the next method, public void display. Here we are displaying from B. Now we are in the main function. We are creating an object. Only one object. Object is equal to new C. This is from this class. Okay, the object is from class C. Now if we call obj.show, then it will show from A, and when we give object.display, it will show from interface B. So here we are using the interface with multiple implementation. Now, what's the use of interface, or why we use interfaces? So we use interfaces to achieve full abstraction. That is, we can hide all the implementation details and it supports multiple inheritance. As I already said, there is no multiple inheritance in Java. So instead of that, we can use interfaces and standardized method signature across unrelated classes, and we have a flexible and maintainable code when we use interfaces, that is loosely coupled code. Now we will see the difference between class and interface. So class is a blueprint for creating objects, but interface is a blueprint for implementing the functionality. Now the keyword is class and here interface. Now class can contain both abstract and concrete methods. So in interface only abstract methods before Java 8, and after Java 8 it can have default and static methods as well. And in class, objects can be instantiated if not abstract. And in interface, it cannot be instantiated directly. And in class, only single inheritance can be used. That is, it can extend only one class. But in interface, multiple inheritance is allowed. That is, it can implement multiple interfaces. Now, class can have constructors, but interface cannot have constructors. And the access modifiers of class can use anyone, public, private, or protected. In interface, methods are implicitly public and abstract. In class, instance variables are allowed, but in interface, variables are public, static, final by default. And in class, abstract can be fully or partially abstract, but in interface, it's always fully abstract. And in class, class is extended using extends keyword because we are using inheritance here. But in interface, we are implementing, so we can use implements keyword. And class can be used to define the structure and behavior, but interface is used to define a contract for classes to implement. Now we will see the difference between abstract class and interface. Abstract class can have both abstract and concrete methods, but interface can have only abstract methods till Java 7 and default or static class methods after Java 8 plus version. And abstract class can have instance variables, but interface can have only constants, that is public, static, final. And abstract class can have constructors, but interface cannot have constructors. And abstract class can support inheritance of only one abstract class, but interface can support multiple interface inheritance, like multiple inheritance.